I was just curious, how do these students learn? Because, traditionally, these initiatives take forever because they're like, we're going to help you get to a school that has these opportunities. But this approach is much more flexible. It's micro-learning. It's learning. How long does this process take for you? And what sort of trajectory do you plan to put these students on? How quickly, how many courses?
Right. So usually a program in the SureStart model is about 5 to 6 weeks long. And we have created a really, contained, curated curriculum because there's almost too much information out on the web. Like if you go and say, learn machine learning, there is so much information and each course is of a different length. And we know that kids are in school, there's already a lot going on with their lives and a lot of learning to be done. So what we've done is create this very curated curriculum that has taken an introduction to machine learning and made it very bite-sized. So each day you have a small module that will take, somewhere between 40 minutes to, an hour and 20 minutes to do, and that you are working through this module. And it's almost like, I will call it multi-channel. Sometimes you are reading something, sometimes you're watching a video, and then sometimes, and this is really important, you are actually coding up what you have just learned, either by watching a video or some material that you have learned. And then during this process, so it's about this learning phase is 2.5 to 3 weeks long. You have this curriculum and you're sort of following it through, and you are doing it with a small, tight group of 3 or 4 students that you meet with every single day for about 20 minutes with now a mentor who is just 2 steps away from you, a graduate student who has both the AI skills that are needed to help you walk through this material, but they also have the lived experience of, making this transition from high school to college to graduate school. So once you're completed with that learning phase, that's when we start having some fun. That's the challenge phase. So once again, we sort of reshuffle the groups and make groups of 4 students once again, or maybe 4 or maybe 5, depending on how many students we have. And now you are all together participating in a make-a-thon with, real prize money at the end. And that's super motivating for students. And they have, once again, a 2 to 2.5 week period when in teams of 4, they are building a machine learning solution to a real world problem, and on the final day, showcasing it to a large virtual audience, including, people who are professors, VCs, entrepreneurs. So you have an amazing audience to showcase the work that you have done.
How did you develop this method?
I think this method for me was sort of developed very organically. I have been a technical mentor for 12 years at this point, started with 1 student at my first job, probably in my first month at AT&T, and sort of, kind of continued the path, just accumulated more and more mentees along the way. But I have always believed in this hand-to-mind connection. So you have to learn something and you have to almost immediately turn around and build something with those new skills. Mm-hmm. Because, Trond, I don't know about you, but anytime I sort of set myself on a path which says, oh, I'm going to learn this new programming language, right? Day 1 and day 2 go really well, and day 3, other priorities take over. And then, suddenly, 5 weeks have gone by and I haven't gone past module 1. So I found that instead, if we have very clear deadlines, goals, deliverables, we figure out a way. It's like going on a journey. You want to go to Paris? You don't know how you're going to get there. Step 1 is, being really passionate about getting yourself to Paris, and then you figure out the details. And the same thing was my approach with my mentees is we are really excited about hitting that end goal of creating an awesome project that we are going to shout about to everyone that we know. And then we figure out the process. We get the skills, we get the teams, we, get the help, and we've achieved that goal.
How many people do you think you can reach with this approach?
I think that right now, each of our cohorts are between 50 to 75 students. But of course, there are so many more students that we would like to reach. I mean, the number of applications we get, even, it's like 5-7 times more than the number of people that we're able to accept. So we are really thinking about scaling this problem by, including more mentors, like really blowing this up to include a lot more people. Anybody who wants to pay it forward, who has the skills, can be a mentor, and then bringing them together with these young kids, irrespective of where they are. This is a fully virtual program. So creating a virtual community that can bring together people who are really excited about learning and people who are really excited about teaching, and creating a community where they can do that with intentionality and awareness.
How fundamental, and I guess it depends at what level, but how fundamental are AI skills to you in the future? And by the future, let's just say over the next decade or two, like, the reason you're doing this is to level the playing field, but it is also to teach something you find as very fundamental in kind of in the world, in the emerging society. To what extent are the things that you're teaching people becoming basically life skills versus it's just a technical skill that will give you a job?
Yeah, I mean, I think that even if we just consider our day, each day, we're making probably, thousands of decisions every single day that involve AI in some way.
Meaning that they involve algorithms that you're either being subjected to or that you're actively kind of contributing to the algorithm by something you're doing.
Yes, I mean both. Really, whether you are, taking an Uber, whether you're getting online to have a conversation, there on the back end, there is so much automation that is going on. There is a use of machine learning, use of estimation, use of statistical modeling that is constantly happening in order to enable us to interact with and through technology, and then making decisions that have direct effects on our lives. And I think this trend is only going to continue. And I think AI is the new economy. It is the new green. But that means that it also has the potential to divide people. Basically, the people who, groups of people who have the skills to participate in the new economy, and the people who do not have those skills to participate in this new economy. And so consequently, this divide that we already have could grow bigger. And my goal through bringing this kind of training, mentoring, and amplification to young people much earlier on in their career, the goal is to enable everyone with the skills to participate in this new economy. And it's not just a financial thing, it's also what are we building? We want to build robust products that work for everyone, that are equitable, that make the world better. It kind of goes back to the theme of, AI has a lot of promise, but it's incumbent upon us to help it deliver that. And that requires us to include people who are right now not represented in our field.